I feel it. Yeah, I did. We don't even have to do a second take.
At all.
I love it.
That
Only
was
one
good.
Bessie in the house, like, because the rest of them.
She did help. She did help.
Shout out to everybody that comes every week.
Yeah.
We only got a couple people here from an every week standpoint. But shout out to all the new people. We love y'all. We want y'all to come back. So we hope you like it. So we have someone here, Saint. He has a podcast too, Dirty Entertainment. The back right there.
Oh, okay.
The total dickhead in the back, the douchebag. He's in Facebook jail right now.
For real?
Yes, the asshole. I can tell off the bat though. That's the crazy thing about it. You know that Leo intuition.
How you getting he's a Leo?
No, he's not. I said my Leo.
Oh.
I said what kind of
how you
dickhead
get
are you?
Facebook jail?
For real though.
That's a good question.
Oh, you don't even know?
He said the haters. That's what he told me over there.
I never told you anything.
Woo! I told you, dickhead-ishness.
Don't lie on me.
Nah. I be doing that. No, I'm just playing though. But no, he didn't say that. He said, I don't know what you said really. I asked you. I don't think you ever really answered. But we'll talk about it.
I don't think you're going to answer now either when I just asked.
Yeah. How was your week, Mac?
My week was pretty good. But yesterday was real fun, and I'm struggling today
I
because
can
of that.
see.
Yeah, the voice is
You're paying
still...
the price.
I am. I feel a lot better though. It was like a slow day today for me.
Happy birthday to Jess.
Yeah, Jess. She only go by Simply Jess no more, but Jess. Her birthday was the other day. We celebrated. She has her birthday party tomorrow, and she introducing everybody who. She's pretty connected down here because she was a promoter for some years for 400 Club. So she has a big following, a big contact list of people. So people are in town for her birthday. She's showing them the other side of her, like artwork and things like that she's been working on for a while. Yeah, she's in the art. So
I love
people
that.
get introduced to that tomorrow. She's having something. Even Danya's coming down for it too.
Really?
Yeah, Danya comes down tomorrow.
Danya knows her?
Yeah, she was. Around the time when I was having Diane take videos for her, he was working for her already too. Yeah, so yeah.
Where's her? Oh, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
it's private, but
yeah, I've seen the thing.
Okay, yeah, no, that's dope. I love that kind of stuff. I like when New York, we're used to doing stuff like that. I like to see.
So she does art and all type of far as designing fashion to taking pictures to painting, all the type of stuff. So she's about to show everybody that inside of her.
That's really good. We like to. Because you're a big fan of not keeping yourself in the box.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
I like that she's... But I like to see that she's not in the box.
Yeah.
So I think the last time I saw her, she was at
R1. Separate. Yeah, she's not there no more. I'm the one who introduced her to Peter.
Okay.
So that's how she started working with him. Yeah. And she wanted to get away from that too. She felt like she's always building up other people's companies and businesses, and she wanted to focus on herself more. So she was like, I just need to step away from all that because I'm always trying to help build everybody else up. And I have a talent that I need to kind of put out there. So
I think that's, sometimes people want to step away from whatever, but I think that's what your mission was. I guess that's what you were supposed to do. Mm-hmm. Now it's your time. Right. So I don't think she should ever feel any kind of way about having.
No, I just think she wanted to focus more on getting her stuff, and pushing that because she's always pushing everybody else's brand.
But shout out to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I had a good time.
We did. I'll be taking on shit like it's my birthday too. That's the problem.
But I told Bryant that's why we love hanging out with him on our birthday. Because it's like, we know.
The ours.
Yeah, we know. But you know what? When I go out, I always say it's my birthday, period.
Yeah, me too.
So even last night, it was like, whose birthday is it? I was like, it's mine.
Right. And then Vontae just had a birthday.
Vontae? What? Oh, yes, I did see it. I said a happy birthday.
He didn't really say much, though, about it.
You're quiet.
Not a birthday person? Yeah, we usually last month, her birthday coming up.
Yeah, Chloe not a birthday person like that, which is fine.
It's the first of the month, got paid rent. That's why I gotta.
You April 1st?
No, I'm April 5th, though.
Oh, April 5th. Okay. So you borderline late fees, because 5, that's the 5th.
Yeah.
Okay. Child. Betsy, watch that. You handling the bills, huh? It's on the first of the month. No, bro, that's the 5th.
Nevy's son is actually April 1st.
Oh, for real?
Yeah,
oh, wow.
So I remember when she went in labor and I thought it was like a joke. Like, you're right. Because it's Fool's Day. Yeah. She's like, everybody think I'm joking. I am. I'm like, okay, somebody called me, sending somebody to me. For real, she really was in labor. she had on April 1st.
That's crazy. I always wonder what it's like to be born on April 1st or Friday the 13th or February 29th.
Right, the leap year, right?
Weird, yeah. Because when do you celebrate though? If your birthday's February 29th.
You might get skipped sometimes, right?
Yeah, but do you just like celebrate March 1st?
I don't care. I celebrate the whole June, so.
I mean, I celebrate all of August.
What are you, a Cancer? What are you?
He's a Gemini. Can't
Gemini?
you tell? Cancers are nice.
Whoa.
Hilarious.
Cancers are nice.
He's being attacked.
Well, Gemini's an air, so I'm an air sign too, so.
Yeah, they're not. You're not as dickhead as just Gemini. You know that. You know that.
When y'all had this? When this beef started?
We don't have beef. He said when this beef started. Making it more than it is. No, it's no beef. I love Saint. However, I'm just saying I can tell. And then I have witnesses though.
Away from everything
I do have witnesses. Juvie was up there. Juvie, was he not?
It was the lick.
Douchish? Douchish?
It was a rap.
Was it not douchish?
No.
Douches.
Yeah, douchebag-ish.
Oh, yeah.
Like, right, Juvie? I mean, you were up there. Juvie was there. He's my witness.
Royal douchebag.
She said,
Yeah.
There we go.
It was a little going on. He's looking at you sideways now. But I'm glad you had my back. I'm glad you were there to attest to this. You know, we're moving along.
How was your week?
My week? My week was great.
Why was it so great?
All right, right.
What?
Why did
No,
came out with like,
You was giggling.
right.
No.
Feeling
You
that
got your
was up.
flashback?
no.
What's the
no, I
tea?
can't.
What's the cheese?
The tea is that I'm never talking about anybody again on
Oh
the show.
shit.
That's the tea. That's the real tea. How about that?
Oh
'Cause
shit.
now I find out they be wanting to watch the show and stuff, and I can't talk
No,
about it.
honey.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. I'm a very honest person, so it really usually doesn't matter to me. If I said it, I said it, whatever. But I'm not into hurting people's feelings. Like, that's not me either, because I'm a sweetheart.
Y'all believe that if you want to.
So I'm just not gonna do it. You know, it is what it is. You know, catch this tea later.
But it
Back
was
in
great.
the dark, maybe. But my week was great. My week was great. It was really good. You know, I was getting some things done with Pink is starting a foundation. So we kind of like tested it out. We used to like support other people's foundations with Pink Girls Care. But now I think we're going to kind of do our own thing, especially now because of the whole year of COVID. We couldn't really do, you know, we're all about experiential activations, and we couldn't really do in-person things. So now we kind of want to just focus on, you know, supporting people. And
That's good.
So that's good. And, you know, I just had a good time this week. This week has been great. And yesterday I had like my first ladies kind of like
Ladies'
night.
Yeah.
I don't really do that.
Why?
I like niggas. I like guys to be up. No, I really do. I do like male energy. So I've always liked that. Like I that's just something. I love girls. I like being around girls. I'm a friend. I like girls, but I like to have men around too. Like I just do. So it's just weird. I'm like, oh, we were invited. Me and Grace, our other friend, was invited to. We were already going to dinner, so they invited us to see Carl Thomas. I mean, it wasn't like a real show, but it was at the Cave. And we were like, you know what? Why don't y'all come with us to dinner, and then we go there. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun because they ratchet like us. They hoish like us. We can talk about what we want to talk. But anyway, we had a great time, and yeah, that was a good time. So today,
You did something different, so that's
I did something different, and I liked it. And now I want to do it again.
Okay.
Soon.
So
Yeah.
Tonight?
That was no, not tonight.
Ghost
I need niggas around. No Ghost Bars ladies night. What?
Big vibes.
Big vibes at Ghost Bar. I love Ghost Bar
I
too,
do
though.
too.
You know I love Ghost Bar. I don't know. I just love it. Something about that place. I really do.
yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice.
Every time I go there, I have a good time. Yeah. I can always have a. But you know, last night when I was at the second part of our little ladies' night was to see Carl Thomas at the Cave, and we were there. We had a couple bottles there. You know, we were chilling, and who walks in? Odell. So we got Odell on the show.
Odell goes there all the time on Thursday. He always texts me on Thursday.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's like his
No,
little
I'm
spot.
telling you right now, you should come. I'm definitely gonna go again.
I told you only been one time. And
Okay, I'm
Odell
definitely
was
gonna go
there.
again. I'm definitely gonna go again on
Okay.
Thursday. Cause it's our vibe. Like, you remember I've been saying so.
So what time?
So for a
time did you go?
okay, we went about 8:30.
Oh, okay.
So you know how like for a long time, I only lived here 2 years, but like I guess for the year before COVID, so the first year I was here, we were saying how we want to do something different, and I was saying to you, I want to go to R&B night. Remember we kept saying,
right.
and I was like, yo, I really want some like new shit, like because we are big R&B people, but we also grew up in a different era too.
Yeah.
So I want
Carl
kind of
Thomas, that.
yeah, it is our era.
Yeah.
So they always have those people apparently. I wasn't there when they had Case and those guys and things like that, but I would have loved to have come. I mean, so I started looking through it and I was like, yo, this is dope. But when I was there and then Odell was there, he went and he was saying hi to this guy behind me, and I'm like, Odell. So I went and said hi. Then I turned to my left and EJ's there, Edrin, Hall of Famer James. He's there. Then Trick Daddy's there. Trick comes over and says hi. Like everybody was saying hi. Like Duke
You should
Brown
have
was
said
there.
something to his ass by coming on here.
So I didn't say anything to him about that. He was actually very, very nice. Normally I feel like he doesn't remember anything.
Yeah.
But but he wasn't like that yesterday. He was just like, I kind of felt like he was trying to like avoid other people. So he was like, hey, like, what up? No y'all. Like it was dope. And then Du Brown was there, and I stopped him. He was walking. He was with Boy Greasy. I saw Boy, but he didn't see us. And then he left them and came like our way, and I was like, "What's up?" And he's like, "Oh shit, what up?" And I was like, "You know me?" And he's like, "Yeah, P Mac friend." I was like, "Yeah, because that's where I am. Yeah, that's my P Mac friend." I'll take it though. I'll take it. You know. So I was like, oh, "Okay, as long as you know." And then that was it. And then but we ended up going to EJ's table. They invited us to their table for a little bit. I went over there, and that was it.
So what time did that end?
It's crowded. I left there at midnight.
Okay.
That's when I went to Chicago. That's when all the other shenanigans started. But you know what? It was a great night, and it is what it is.
I feel you.
Stop! I have no hoes anymore.
You don't?
Nope.
You don't have any hoes?
I broke out with everybody.
Why?
Why?
Single is the way to be.
What?
You got the right idea.
Wait, but she don't got no hoes, but I mean she
But
got
why-
a main nigga.
I don't know, cause I don't know. I was just feeling like I don't want them. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. Like I don't like them. I was just like they're not the ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
Yeah, I can see that.
But you
So
need
I kind
like
of stepped back. I didn't even break. I just like stepped
Just
back.
falling back a little bit.
Yeah, just fell back. Just fell back. Yeah.
Damn.
I know.
What, you want to phone one of them outside?
Shut up.
you ain't shit.
You telling me a story, so I'm like,
Yeah, I just told you we were not gonna talk about yesterday or the day before that.
I don't know when you just said it.
Yes, I was on the phone yesterday with people, but that don't mean
Not
anything.
people.
No, with them, I'm saying with that person. With one. Anyway, shut up. But no. You know what? Let's go. So
I'm confused.
God is amazing. I'm not even entertaining. Why would you even say that? No, that has nothing
Well,
to do
you said that, so I'm like, damn, what you just telling me a story about you being on the phone?
But that don't mean anything. Does that mean anything? Just because you're saying hi or talking to somebody on the phone?
You just said, I had backed off. And it's like, well, you did?
Yeah, no, I did. I really did.
But yeah, but just
It was
because
just last night.
just because she backed off doesn't mean that he backed off. So he probably still was like in the routine of trying to talk to her and missing her and stuff.
When did you
know
back
what
off?
I'm
This morning?
No, they called me. No, they
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
They did call me, and I saw the phone call, and so I picked up, but I was outside. I wasn't in a club or anything. I was at this time we were at the bar, and I was like, oh, let me step outside and talk. So that's when I stepped outside and I talked. Cat. Oh God, here we go. You know, we're gonna take a little break. But before we do that, we want to do a very, very special rest in peace
Oh yeah.
to a legend. You know, this is, me and Mac's era, so this is very special to us. You know, for us, it was very deep. Like, it was crazy to me when he even got sick and he had to be admitted to the hospital. So I'm like, all of our legends are like,
Check it out of here.
yeah, I said, I hope he doesn't die. That's all I can say. I hope he doesn't die. I hope it's just, he's in the hospital. heart attack. Cause that's all I saw was heart attack. I was like, a lot of people come out of that. I mean, my 80-year-old aunt just
But then they
had a
not
heart
see
attack
it
when he came
COVID
out.
too, and I was like, what?
They were saying all this stuff, and I was just saying, you know, with Kobe and, you know, I mean, there's so many people, Aaliyah, Biggie, Tupac, like all of our legends die younger, and I was just like, that's not, you know, Nipsey, like, it was just, I didn't want to believe that something really bad would happen.
And I'm friends with him. He has 2 kids by my friend Yachty, and she's from here. She was out here.
Oh, for real? So I know Tashira.
Oh, okay, so Yachty.
His last ex-wife, I guess.
Okay, so Yachty, she's from here, and she comes out sometimes, but I know that she's probably taking this pretty hard too. So I was always praying for, you know, him to kind of make it through, just because I knew her pretty good, but I mean, it's just a sad thing.
I mean, and another legend, Miss Betty Wright too, because I was gonna say that's somebody we need to praying with us every time. Like, you know, she's somebody that I think her prayers.
They just gave her a street.
They did.
Yeah. I think that's on Johnson. So we need to go take a
Oh, that would be
We
great.
need to go take a picture by her side.
Let's go. Like,
Yeah,
no, for real, let's go.
No, they just gave her one. I want to say like last week. They just.
Oh my God, that would be great.
They had like a little thing for it, but yeah.
No, we should definitely do
No,
that.
for real.
That's great. Well, shout out to her.
Yep, she's still, you know, out here.
Prayers up there. I mean, yeah, she was always in my corner and in your corner, and just in general, like just wishing us the best.
Yeah.
So, you know, rest in peace to those guys.
So we'll go to our commercial break.
We go to a commercial break. DMX, a little DMX for y'all. I think.
Come on.
Y'all sound real dead this time.
No.
But you know what, y'all gave us y'all all in the intro,
First,
so it's all good. I appreciate you guys.
Yep, so
We had 2 people that had to go. They invited me to go spar with them. I said, bro.
Oh, that's where they going to?
Yeah, I said I'm doing a show. Okay, you coming?
Middle of the show.
No, I'm not. Maybe later. I don't know. But I'm not. I'm so tired.
Yeah.
Like,
You already know I'm tired.
But I know you guys are happy. I know we're tired tonight, but in general, the Miami-Dade curfew has been lifted officially.
Yes.
On the
Monday,
12th. Monday, yeah.
There's no more curfew.
But you realize it's only curfew because of spring break. Like spring break is
I
pretty
don't really
much
think there was no curfew ever because there was
I forgot it was
you could
curfew.
go.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay.
But now some people can still been past 12.
No, they was checking cars. They had everybody lined up going.
No, I'm
like
saying some of them can still be past 12 now.
Oh,
Yeah,
When the
a lot
curfew-
of
when the
places can
curfew
stay
is.
open. Like, you know, I know like a lot of people going to certain places out there on the beach.
But you know, even like the office and everything,
Yeah.
they had to close at 12. Yeah, they were closing at 12. They
I
first
seen them open
they
when I
were-
leave studio, bro.
they were abiding by it at first, but then they said the cops would come there. And I remember one time I had went to that the new KOD, and they be pulling up to make sure these people was closed down as well.
They did not. Let me tell you something. Just last week, Thursday, I was at studio for the R&B thing too. Also, shout out to them. They're a great spot to go to. And Jarvis drove me home. Jay's brother drove me home. And we passed in the office. We almost went in there. That was like 2 o'clock almost.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, the line to get in was crazy. The car line.
I guess they stay open sometimes. I think they stay open until they get shut down.
Thursday. Okay, yeah. So
You know
probably
what I
until they
mean?
get shut down. But the car line was insane. We're like, yo.
That's
She pull
crazy.
up. I said, I'm not getting on that car line. He said, we could park and just walk over. I was like, I don't know. He liked to party.
Oh, for real?
He liked to. I told him the other day, I was like, yo, I didn't realize you were that much of a vibe. Like, you could party like that. Like, I used to think, okay, you just boring because you're not really like, but he can stay. He stays up, he hangs, he drinks. You know what I'm saying? It's just,
I feel like I always
he's
see
just
him
not
like
lit.
quick. Yeah, like
He's just not like,
Yeah.
but he's out.
yeah, he's there.
He
still,
keep
yeah.
going with the party.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, oh my God, no, take me home. What's wrong with you? It's 2:30, I want to go home.
Right.
But yeah, so I knew that you guys would be happy about that. But in general, I never really felt like there was a curfew.
I kind of didn't either.
Yeah,
I forgot when I
places to
seen
go.
that. I'm like, damn, curfew left. I'm like, what the fuck? Everybody was still doing stuff. Like,
yeah, that's what I said.
That's more a Dade County thing than Broward.
yeah, but even in Dade County, Broward, I don't think it was no curfew.
Yeah.
But Dade County, I still felt like people were still going out and doing stuff. Like, to the fact that I didn't think it was a curfew. Like, I forgot it was a curfew.
I definitely.
I knew it was one, but I forgot it was one.
I definitely forgot as well. Yeah.
And I knew- Well, I know Dade County, but is the beach, is that considered Dade County?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so people can hang out on the beach later now too.
Wow, that's good for them.
Yeah.
Not you though. It's good for them though.
That's good for them. No, so I don't only come to South Beach. I go to like
We don't
Hollywood
we'll
Beach.
go there like Bar Idol or something.
No, I'm saying like even like the beach. Oh, I thought you meant like the beach. You know I don't be getting the
Oh, when I say South Beach, I'm saying like the
You
area.
said the beach, you meant
The beach, I'm talking about the South Beach
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
I thought
you were talking about the beach.
I thought you meant the beach. That's why I'm like, yeah, good for them. Because I'm like, when I go to the beach, I usually go to Hollywood or whatever.
Oh, okay.
I like it over there. It's quiet.
Yeah, when I say the beach, I'm just talking about that area. Period. But you know that Bar Idol, they was closing early too.
They were.
Yeah. But now
I like it there.
do the verses again, and it was like a fight or something I was trying to host one time, but it was like they closed at 12, and by the time the fight came on.
Yeah, no, we were there.
Yeah, but
so, yeah,
you
the
was
fight.
drunk,
We
you
had to
know,
leave.
realize-
We had to leave before the actual
Fight
fight
even
started. And
But
he
everybody
said,
kinda
I
lit
wish I would
already.
have told me that. How to invite people.
Right.
He said before I invited people, I wish I would have told me that. And I was
But we
cracking up.
kind
I
of got
didn't
there early,
realize.
got lit anyway, so it was like
We got there like 7:30.
yeah. So by the time 12 o'clock came, it was like already
Ready time to go. And I don't think we really cared about the fight.
We
honestly,
didn't.
yeah.
just a social gathering.
Just another reason to get together and drink. Sadly. We gotta get our lives together.
All right.
I'm together.
But now like they can still relate it. So like, you know, they have like verses coming. They have like they have the 420 verses. I feel like it could have been somebody else.
Who they have for the first?
Method Man and Redman. I don't feel like it should have been those two against each other.
Yeah.
Like you can find another smoker like Wiz
I was gonna say,
Snoop
yeah,
Dogg.
but I think Snoop already did it with DMX, right?
Snoop already did it, so that's why I said like
So he
Wiz
can't
Khalifa
do it. So Wiz, that would have been good with
and
who?
Method Man and somebody like
Okay,
you know,
yeah.
different eras, but
Because I don't feel like
they really
Redman.
weren't smokers though. Like you know
I
what
don't
I'm
feel
saying?
like Redman was smoking. I think Meth was a smoker. Meth was always.
Well, you know they both was in the movie How High, so
Yeah.
it does
Yeah,
kind
but Redman, even else. Okay, so the movie, yes, but like in life, like when we think about it, Meth was always rolling.
Yeah.
Meth is always rolling. I think about that, like with him and like Wiz is more of a roller, but I mean, I think about weed. I think about him, yeah. But Red, I don't see that.
I've seen him at
Outside,
certain
but you know
point
what? He hasn't
as
been as visual,
yeah.
as Meth. Yeah.
Because remember when he did MTV Cribs, he looked like he was high as fuck doing that. like,
Probably was.
like he showed like ghetto ass places too. Y'all remember that? I always remember that shit. It was like some hood ass.
That's
shit.
my show too.
Me too. So I was funny to see him on there like he
I
high as fuck.
that.
But it was like some
I'm
hood
gonna
ass
Google that shit later.
shit that wasn't even like he ain't this
He had
shit
his
fixed.
cousin
It was like some
sleeping on the
bullshit.
floor. He had
Huh?
his cousin sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, he had a whole
What?
bullshit. Yeah. It was like the screen door was
It
fucked
had
up.
to be fake.
It had to be. I don't know. It had to be like somebody else's house. He like, I'm gonna do this.
I thought it was a joke. Like, let's do this shit. I don't give a fuck.
Shit.
Y'all want
It was
this,
a joke.
y'all get all of this.
Yeah, nothing in the fridge.
Yeah, he ain't he ain't shit in the fridge. It was just like
That was a classic.
Bloopers.
it was crazy.
Really?
Yeah. Man, he was high as fuck too when he was on it.
Yeah, he definitely was hot there for sure. But I mean, I definitely want to move along because I want to talk about the topic that I feel like
Oh, but
you
wait,
have.
one more
like,
versus
what?
though. One more versus that I do want to host is Escape vs SWV.
Oh, that'd be
That's
good.
coming up. Yeah,
When is that gonna be?
that's coming up. That's I think next month
In
sometime.
May?
Yeah, I
Around
believe
Mother's Day,
so.
probably.
Ooh.
There's another one for Mother's Day, but it's not them. It's somebody else.
Who is it?
I don't know. It's
No
still
corny
blurred out.
shit.
I know. I hope it ain't like not too old ladies, but like
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want to be like
Hawaiians or nothing.
Yeah.
I want to do like, yeah. I feel like, I don't know. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it real. I love verses. I love the idea of verses and all that stuff. But when they do certain people, I'm like,
yeah, like I ain't gonna lie. When they did like E40 and Too Short, I
Yeah.
watch it.
I didn't watch it either. But I mean, that's not something I would watch anyway. But I get it for a certain code, so you know I get it.
Demographic.
But for me, even when they were doing like, even like with the
Jazz
Isley
and
Brothers and
stuff.
stuff like that, I don't even think that should be a versus. Let's just celebrate them. But I guess
Yeah.
that's what it was.
Yeah. And then Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey was
hosting it.
like, come on, we take it away from. I thought it should be like the whole.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I definitely think there's some that I just can't get into or whatever. But even for me, because you know I don't really like. So now I grew up on reggae, but I don't really like reggae like that. So like when
Beanie Man.
I didn't watch it.
And that was what.
But I know all the music.
Mm.
I know. I was out with Mac Meeka. Remember he was out at that hookah spot or whatever, and
Yeah.
I was doing all the words. He was like, for somebody that don't like reggae, you know
Right.
all the words. I was like, I grew up on this shit. I know it, but I don't. It's not my thing. It's not it at all. But no, so I'm excited about SWV and Escape then. But do you think that SWV going against Escape is good? I don't think that they're. I feel like SWV should have gone against another more more mature. But I feel like Escape at the time was not. They were kids. They were
young.
17.
They were young.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were talking about adult
They were
things.
because they were nasty. I like that. I feel like En Vogue maybe even, but they don't have enough songs. I feel like En Vogue. Does SWV have 20 songs?
Yeah. Last night when we was at the house, I played like 10 of both groups. Cause everybody was like, "Oh,
Escape got songs."
they're like, "Oh, Escape gonna kill it. Escape gonna kill it." I'm like, "Don't see them with SWV."
SWV got songs, but I didn't know they had 20.
Yeah, they put out, about 3 or 4 albums. They have.
They did.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I just remember
I was about to say the same thing.
We was on the first album.
I mean, because I remember that's the album I know all my songs from. I still
But you got Can We Get Kinky Tonight? You know what I mean? They had like those songs too. That were like a lot of those albums produced by those song records was produced by Diddy's. That whole album.
I don't know that.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that album, because they had a lot of features on the album, and I was like, damn, they got hella features for this one album. Yeah. Everybody was on that album, so they got some songs.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, I'm excited.
And they got probably stuff that they were featured on. I guess I don't really know them being too much featured.
Yeah, I don't remember like 3 of them being featured.
Or like Coco, I don't know.
Coco definitely, yeah.
She went solo for a second too.
Yeah. Do you think they'll play like Coco stuff?
I don't know.
I don't think so, right?
I don't think so either.
Coco could sing. I think her son now, like she was on Instagram, and I think they were showing that her son got the singing genes.
Oh, okay.
He's keep the flow, so that's good.
God
knew what he was doing when he ain't let me know how to sing. No, you know how to sing.
Not like that.
Stop.
For karaoke, like it's not like
no,
that.
but you can sing though. You sound
I have to hear it.
You can harmonize. My ass be sounding like a dead cat. But no, what I wanted to go into was something that I thought that you had a lot of it. Well, I wanted to really hear your opinion about, not because you have insight, but because there's something that happened to you too, kind of. So Paul Pierce, NBA legend, everybody knows Paul Pierce here, I hope. But he got fired from ESPN because of his IG Live. He had strippers in the back and.
But I'm also tell you another part of that I heard too why he got fired is because they said he was misconduct with the whole COVID rule, the social distancing. So at their job, they have to keep getting tested, and clearly everybody's like all around each other too. So that was part of it too. Is that he didn't follow the rules about like the whole social distancing thing when he posted.
Do you think that's just?
I think that was a scapegoat.
I was gonna say that was an excuse.
But that's what was put out there.
That was a good reasoning, but I feel like if it was somebody of not that color, it would. I don't think it would go the same way. I don't know. Like they be quick to fire us when we get in the positions, but when it come to them, they get brushed off.
But I wonder what made him post that.
So that was okay.
That too.
That was strange for me too, because I feel like he's not a poster of that kind of stuff either.
Yeah, right.
So that was just weird. Maybe
he's a party person.
He's a partier
throughout the years.
He's a partier, but he's not a poster of certain things.
Like that,
And I'm like, that was just super weird. And I was like, was he high? I mean, he looked like he wasn't. He didn't seem like he was, but he could have been.
A lot of people do that though. A lot of people want to go on live. So like when you see people go on live looking lit, it make you want to follow that trend. Cause like social media it's contagious.
It is.
Everybody do it. It's like, nah, I want to do it because like they having fun doing it. I want to feel like you always want to have that feeling like I want to feel like how this is. You know what I'm saying?
So the whole thing, seeing him do all that, I didn't really care. I didn't care. I know Mac saying like there was another component about it, and I can actually see that. Like you sitting there. Meanwhile, they're 6 feet away now on the commentating platform on the table. But anyway. I can see them saying that, and I can respect that. But saying initially that they fired him because of, the kind of stuff that he was posting and the strippers and stuff like that, I almost felt like you in a situation with the boat. Now, how do you feel when your outside work life? Should it affect
that was a conversation
work life?
We was talking about that yesterday because they were like, he's off.
Yeah,
you know
he's
what I mean?
off. So that's what was my
that's
thing.
That's his personal time and business, and he wasn't really violating anything.
He didn't do anything crazy.
Right. So that was the debate yesterday too. Like, if you're off, like mine was different. Mine was like I didn't like far as work, I didn't get fired. Like, you know what I mean?
Not get fired, but the whole thing is like, should it even affect, like, people, it was all a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, should that even be a thing? This year,
Well, to people, in situations, people on the outside looking in, it is a thing because they already kind of speculate some things like that happen. So now you're giving them a little insight, whether it's from the media or whether it's from his social media, of what they already possibly heard may go on in certain athletes' worlds. So
they want to crucify us though. Like, do you understand that? Like, they always want to do that because when they do that, they do that. I'm not gonna lie, they do that, and we all know they do that. But it don't get blown up like that. So every time,
no, it gets kind of swept under the rug or sugarcoated a little bit in the media. I mean, look at Ben Roethlisberger, who has been charged with 3 different rapes, and it's like it's still it's never like given that same amount of attention that it would have been given. If it was one of us, it would just been painted and put out there totally different. But like,
Super Bowl champ,
swept under the rug.
Right, you a Super Bowl champion. They want to crucify you. It's Paul Pierce. They want to crucify him. That's all they want to do is crucify important people and be like, no, he's doing this.
Painting certain pictures and images.
It could have been a chess move too, where he's trying to actually get out. Yeah.
Right. Somebody else said that too.
Really?
Somebody. So I heard that in the conversation.
Because with certain contracts, you can't just leave. They have to release you. So I can see that.
That's not a normal thing he does.
But you know, he got offered somewhere else, like right after that. I forget where it was at, but I seen it.
Because what he did wasn't a big deal.
So like, a lot of people doing.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody really cares. I just don't think that your personal life should really affect your professional life. But I also, on the flip side, kind of understand with other cases, not necessarily his situation, but let's say with racist slurs or like homophobic slurs, like certain things where people go on and start talking reckless. That should affect your professional life. Like, I don't want nobody that, if you're supposed to service black people, gays, or whatever, and then you're talking crazy about us, then you don't need to be holding positions of power in that business. You know what I'm saying? So with that, I get it. But like, to be around the strippers or to have a party or whatever.
It looked like they were playing like dominoes.
Yeah, they had cards
and dancing in the background.
Yeah, it wasn't even.
And everybody was
the man came. I don't know what was going on. It was not nothing crazy.
And they
weren't breaking anybody.
They were dressed. They weren't dressed, but they weren't naked.
They weren't naked. Yeah, they had little bikinis on. Like, there was nothing crazy going on. I just didn't think.
But you got to look at it. That's how we look at it. If you look at different parts of the world. And people see that, and from like small towns, things like that, to them, that's like a lot.
That is true. That's very true.
You know what I'm saying? So us, we looking like, that ain't that bad shit. We done seen worse. But some people haven't seen shit like that. So they looking like, oh my God, it's Paul Pierce. And I don't want my kids looking at like seeing that, and then they feel like it's an influence on their kids too. So it can have an effect, like just because of the location of where you're living, your upbringing.
I think it can have an effect, yeah, for sure. Like location. And there's some people, I guess, that follow him that feel like he's supposed to be a role model. But that's another thing I don't agree with necessarily. Just because somebody's in the public eye doesn't necessarily volunteer them
that they want to be a role model.
Like, you know.
But you got to remember, everybody's human and people still saying things along
their journey. Yeah, exactly.
Right. So it's like being in that spotlight, all of a sudden it's like you are now in that spotlight and now you can't make no mistakes. It's like, how hard is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to live almost mistake free or have somebody help you clean shit up so it doesn't make the public, like all that. That's a lot.
No, it is. It definitely is. And I just feel like in general, they shouldn't have to be held to that kind of standard regardless, because that's not what they said. They just wanted to make music or they just wanted to be on TV. Like, that doesn't mean that I'm now saying that I want to be this role model for your 3-year-old. I mean, that goes back to when, so...
Rihanna had said something about that. Like, she didn't
see, I didn't know
anybody's role model like that. She looked like that was her job. She felt like the parents should...
okay. So that's my thing. So Cardi, I was going to go back to... and I don't know if everybody here has seen this. This is like months ago now. So, everybody knows Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's song WAP, right?
Oh, yeah.
And there was a live going around, I guess a snippet of Cardi B's live, where she was playing WAP and she was dancing to whatever. Her daughter came in the back and she saw her in the camera. She was like, And she turned it off.
Cut it
And
off.
everybody went ham. Like, they were going crazy saying, oh, your daughter can't listen to it, but mine can because you have it on radio. She was like, just like I turned it off, that's your fucking responsibility to monitor the shit.
Yeah.
And I felt her with that. Like, I play songs that are explicit around my kids. I never really have censored anything from day one. I have amazing kids. My kids have a lot of manners. They're very respectful. They don't curse. They don't around me. They know better. I will fuck them up. No, I'm just saying. But no, they know better. No, seriously, they do. They know better. And I think it's really about the training and, you know, the home training just in general, right? So for me, I feel like I'm that person. It's not do as I do, is do as I say.
Right.
They know better. So I got a song playing. My kids will be like singing and they monitor them. They censor themselves. I've never heard my kids curse around me. Like my youngest one is 12 and she about to be 13 and we have a problem. We laughed at her the other day because we watched a show called Hell's Kitchen together and she won't say Hell's Kitchen, she'll say Hex Kitchen because she don't want to curse around. She won't say certain things around me.
Right.
I swear to God, like London's like, she's like, oh, I won't say that show. Like, she's like Hex Kitchen. And I'm like, what? I'm like, London, say it. I said to London, I'm the worst, right? I was like, London, I said, you're not going to your, like, she had a whole recital thing or whatever, not a recital, but like a show. I said, you're not going to your show if you can't say the show name. Because I'm just an asshole.
What was I to say?
I was because I'm like, just say, it's not a curse if you're saying the name of the show.
Right,
And that's what I was trying to explain to her. You're just saying the name of the show. You're not saying to me, go to hell. You're not saying, I'm sick of these people, fuck them, go to hell. I don't even know, like, you're not saying anything like that. And she says, no, mommy, no. So, I mean, like, my kids, and I just raised them like that, like, don't say certain things. So, like, now it's like, don't tell me to say it. I still can't say it. Is this a test? I don't get it.
Right.
Like, they don't get it. So, for me, I have always been that person. So, it's like, you're the one that's supposed to monitor or censor your kids. Like, for me, I don't censor them, but I teach them a different way. Like, it's like, it's okay to listen to this. But even with them, it's okay to listen to this and you're around your friends and stuff, but certain, you know, they got white friends too, like, oh, I hope if the song is on and they ever say, nigga, you check them.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's been a conversation. So I use that as conversation pieces for my kids.
So
as well.
how do you, alright, because I was on a boat yesterday and like, the people I with, they're mostly were, I guess, Hispanic, right? But they're from New York. And they talk like in New York, the Spanish people say nigga too. Right. But I didn't know how.
How do you feel about that?
That's because in New York, the Spanish people
So,
are actually black.
yeah. So in New York, it's like, so in New York, okay. So Rick is from New York, so it's like he's from Brooklyn, I'm from Queens. Like for us, I've never thought it was so weird for us.
I don't either. But then yesterday I was like, well, dang.
It's weird to me.
So, but they were different kind of Spanish people that be with John. They
no,
like
not John's friends. I'm talking about like Simply Justin.
Justin. I don't know. See, for me, our Spanish friends, well, not even friends, but the Spanish people in New York are like more hood. Like, that's just how they grew up. That's what they're saying.
Right.
Like, it is what it is. I've never really thought that anything was wrong with them saying it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't until, like, I got older and I'm like, okay, anybody outside of being black really shouldn't say it. Like, I didn't get it that they were not
But some of them feel
black.
like they have black in them, too.
I don't think that's why they're saying
some of them, too, like, you know, they are a whole bunch of different complexion shades.
They're not saying it in New York because of that. Like, they're saying it because that's the slang. Like,
right. But you know, like, some of them
like,
are
like, name what?
But, like, some of them, like, relatives be looking like me, and then, like, some of them.
That's true, they do.
We look like J-Lo. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's very true. Like, even in Belize is very, Spanish is very Indian. So, it's Mayan Indian and Spanish, right? So, and black. So, that's it. That's the three, that's what you're going to get in Belize, right? And so, you can have, like, I have an aunt that looks, well, I have a couple aunts that look super Indian. Then my mother is super, like, that's like, you know what I'm saying? So she's a Spanish side, but then her sisters have a different father and they're, like, Indian. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's like that. And I get that you can have family that looks different. But I'm telling you that they're not saying it because of that. I know people now, like, there's some people now that come out and say, well, I'm Afro-Latino, I'm this and that. So I get that. They're just saying it because that's just how we talk.
Because you know, like, Lala
That's how
Anthony
we talk.
is Afro-Latina.
Yeah.
But we just recognize her as black.
Yeah, we recognize her as black. But I also feel like she wasn't out there, rah. I mean, she was when she was on the radio, but like now as she's being more of an influencer, she's not running out there talking about nigga. So I'm not even talking about somebody like her. But I'm talking about them hood people, like everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody on the street,
I know
on the subway, everybody.
Who started that slang though?
I don't fucking know.
We did.
Exactly. That's it. That's it. Who started the slang? He said exactly. That's all you have to be. That's all to be said though about that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
we don't pick up things that they say. People always pick up things that we say. That's everywhere.
Because we are, I mean, definitely, that's very true that they pick up everything we say. We are the creative, we are very much creative. We are trendsetters.
That's everywhere around the world you see that.
Even down to our fashion, just everything. We are the trendsetters. I mean, remember when Kim Kardashian tried to wear, they tried to wear
box braids.
And they tried to call them boxer, what they
boxer braids. Boxer braids.
They tried to rename them.
That cornrows. What you talking about? And somebody said it's like, and they had but it took Kim Kardashian and her sisters were wearing cornrows, and they had their asses in Vogue, and they were highlighting this shit online, talking about boxer braids, and they talking about boxer braids. I'm just saying what? And I was so I be happy when people actually point out flaws and say stuff like that, because like, all right, you're not gonna hear it from me, but like these people actually say something, and. Somebody did say, what? You mean cornrows that we've been wearing? They started throwing pictures back from way back. Like, way back. You're not going to come here and just, like, appropriate us. But not even that. But just try to accept it. Because they never even said, no, this is the style that I... They were just like it was them.
Right.
No. Stop.
I have a question. Okay, so you were saying, like, how, like, in New York, like, when Hispanics or whatever say the N-word or whatever, like, you're not offended by it. So what if it's, like... people you don't know, like some Hispanic group of people who like come and click with your people. How do you address it?
I feel like the Hispanics in New York are different.
That's what I was trying to explain.
I'm saying like if you're not in New York, say you're here in Miami.
That's what I was trying to explain. Like
in Miami,
I didn't grow up like it's different.
The here,
they're not saying it in a nice way anyway. No, but that's what I was trying to explain. The reason why I even brought up the fact that New York people are different is because we're all in the same way. They're in the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens. Like, we all on the same subway on the train. Like, the way we are, it's just, like, different. And it's like we all are saying that, not saying nigger or, like, whatever. We're saying,
just
like, oh, man, look at this nigga. And when they talking about their homeboy, they're not talking about, like, the black guy over there. They talking about they Spanish from, like, yo, come on, nigga, man, come on, get over here. But we just talk to each other like that.
We do. That's what
No,
I'm saying.
you're right. Yes. But it wasn't until, and the reason why I even brought that up is because I said, then I never saw a problem with it.
Yeah.
It wasn't until moving outside of New York and realizing, wait, hold up.
That's a problem.
We not living that's not okay.
But
It's
like
not.
It's not okay.
My question is like, do you confront it? Do you address the person? Like, how do you go about it? Like,
so now,
like it depends.
We've been in that situation.
If it's somebody that's around me, I'm gonna say something.
So like, no, wait.
If it's somebody I don't really know,
Say you're at work, right?
If you're at work, I'm gonna say something. Because
you're at work and
you're not gonna feel like it's okay.
It's so cool, and that like it just flips out, and you just look at it, and just like you'll address it then, not like.
No, I would definitely like that. That wouldn't be a problem, and that's what I always say for my kids. Like, that's why I made a comment. I made it very clear. I was like, oh, I hope when you guys are out with your friends and whatever, and they ever a song comes on, and they ever say the words.
Watch them.
They make sure they censor themselves if they don't.
You know what's crazy? Some people feel like, oh, it's just part of the song. I'm just saying it because it's in the song.
No.
They'll use that excuse too. And it's like,
people use that excuse all the time. And I just have to say, I don't care. The fact that it's not censored, they have to be conscious of that, okay? And I just want to make sure that to both my girls, like, that if someone around you calls yourself their friend, calls themselves your friend, and they decide that they're going to say it or whatever, if they're your friend, they're going to respect you.
They're going to respect you.
I don't care what they do when you're not around. Like, I do care, but I mean, at the same time, I don't. Like, as long as you're not there and you didn't allow it, I want to make sure that they know that you're not having that shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And they need to know that. So, if they ever say it's like, hold up, Scotty. Like, we're not going to do that today. Let's not do that. So, they hadn't had an instance with that at the time. So, up to that point, it was like when we first got here, because in New York, they really didn't. They went to school with some white people. They went in Christian schools. I mean, now they are, but they ain't like the big one in high school. So it doesn't matter. They be doing drugs. So I know that they cursing. So I know that nigga is probably like a word that can come out. So one thing I can say is that there was a time when my kids showed me, the high schooler showed me that there was some kid online in high school talking racist, and they reported him. One of the white kids.
At their high school?
Yeah, at their high school.
Oh.
And they told about the black people looking like gorillas. What? No lie. No lie. And she showed me, she's like, oh, we reported him. So her, another black girl that's her friend, and then this white boy, the white boy showed it to them and was like, yo, let's report him. And they started like sending his post to the school, and he got expelled. Oh. So the fact that they did that makes me see like, okay, good. They know that just because they know this kid don't mean that it's okay to talk crazy. Even a white boy. And I thought that was dope. Yeah. Because he's a popular kid. He's a popular white boy. He plays football. He's probably one of the top players at their school. So I was proud, honestly, like that he even, because that's when you use your privilege, like to like, hey, this is what it is. But going back to white people saying certain things, Mac and I were at a party. He probably don't even remember this. You know, remember the party we had with the Boom Cups guy?
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened there when I said something and you were like, I didn't hear it? Okay, so Mac and I were at I guess you call it a penthouse party, because we were at like a party. We went back up to the guy's room, and he had like a foundation party, and then he invited everybody upstairs to his suite or whatever afterwards, because it ended kind of early. You know, DJ Ari was there, whatever. Ari left, so he had like the big speakers or whatever. All I know is I'm sitting on the couch. I'm closer to the guy. The guy is probably right here in this white chair, and I'm sitting on another couch. And the guy's talking to these two white girls. He's a white guy. He's talking to these two white girls. And all I know is he says, tell something, nigga, he's going crazy. And I look. He's a white guy? He's a white guy. And I look like this. And he looked up like, he didn't, because everybody's white except me, Mac, and somebody was with us.
Cherie? Somebody else?
No, not Cherie.
It was somebody else with us.
Yeah, somebody else was with us. I can't really remember who was with us.
Neither, but yeah.
I can't remember, but it was three of us there, and was it Thug? No, it wasn't Thug. She would have been louder and wilder. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, maybe it was Cherie. Yeah, but I didn't ride with her. Who did I ride with? I don't know. But anyway, it was me, Mac, and Cherie, and all I know is I heard that, and they didn't hear it because they were in a conversation. They were two in a conversation, and I looked at his face when he was laughing. He looked. He was like a ghost, and he was like, just like that, and he just shut up. He just got quiet, and I was like, oh no, that's not what we're gonna do today. I was like, Mac, it's time to go, and I never said exactly, and I was like, it's time to go. There's a whole bunch of them and just us, right? And I was like, this is out the place to kind of like, I know Mac was so. Bryant is one of the representatives of Boom Cups. Now I don't know who the guy was. It's a charity.
So the main guy, it wasn't him.
It wasn't him.
The other guy.
It was some guy that was there. I don't know who it was. But if he's upstairs in the suite with us, I mean, there's only about 15 of us up there. So he had to be somebody close to outside of the hundreds that was downstairs. Right. But I know I can't be like whatever. But I could tell him like that's not cool. But it wasn't even that kind of situation due to that. So I was kind of angry about it. I think we just drink a lot. So I was like, Mac, it's time to go. And Mac was like, wow, we just started the party. They just brought some food or something. They brought something. So they was like, why? And I was like, this boy just said nigga. And I know he was so uncomfortable because Mac was big. He probably think he was get fucked up. Yeah. There was a lot going on, but we ended up leaving. We did end up leaving. And I mean, there are situations where I feel like you don't know what to do, and
when it's being said like that, you kind of let somebody know your stance on it. Like nah, like you did.
I feel like that point I wanted to say more too. I just didn't know and I shouldn't. And I will say this: it shouldn't matter who he was to that guy in the foundation. It shouldn't have affected your relationship with the guy had I said anything. But I already know in that moment. It was just time to go. That's it. It's time to go. I think he already realized he fucked up.
He did when
he realized he fucked up. Yeah. But honestly, it wasn't even just about a fuck up. It's like, why are you even using that word? And that's what I always say. I said,
So
it doesn't matter. They use this word, period, in private. It don't matter. It doesn't matter. And yes, he was not using it to address somebody. He was using it and saying, yo, that's my nigga, man. That's my nigga.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, what?
Yo, what? That's
So,
what I was saying. Yo, what?
since we're on that, like a topic like this, with all the stuff that's been going on with the basketball wives and the ladies, I feel like this has been, the whole season has basically been about their dispute with the whole colorism, and then she even mentioned about like Evelyn saying, I guess, using the N-word as well too, like, and all that, like.
So Evelyn again is from the Bronx, so that's like a thing. Like again, we just said that it's so different when they say it, and they're from the Bronx. Have they say Evelyn was from Cleveland, I might be like, bitch, you can't say that. But it's weird. Like it's like you grew up saying it. It's not like you even mean it in a negative way. You using it to talk about the white person too. Like you using it just to say, like it's not even like a word of negativity. It's just a noun. Like, oh, that's my nigga. Oh, come here, nigga. Like, yo, what? It's not even that. And so we got to get out of that. We can't give people excuses. And, you know,
Yes.
I haven't even been keeping up, but I get it through my DMs. My DMs that were flooded, I guess, the last couple of weeks because of, like, OG and, like, all this stuff.
Yeah, but they're paying her to look. She looks like she's the problem, too. Like, she's been arguing with everybody.
But that's what they try to do to me. They try to make it seem like I was, and I really wasn't. Like, it was never.
But then also, do you feel like there is some truth?
No, there definitely is. I've always okay. So now I never really, it was never really a big thing, like a big deal. But I've always said that was always an issue with all reality TV. You ever notice like the dark skinned girl we're the mad black person, or we the villain? Like you said, they vilify us. They make us the aggressor and things like that, right? I feel like that's always been an issue. That's always been the case.
Okay.
And I've always said that. But like now it's been where they're taking it to a next level and trying to say like it's not about just being a villain. It's not about just that now. They're trying to be like, oh, you're the outcast, or you're the this, or you're the that. But I can see that. I can definitely see it.
Oh, okay. So I you know, you've been in that realm with them, but then they also look at like Jennifer and them like, well, they don't feel like they experienced that, and Jackie says she's brown skin, she don't feel like they do.
Jackie's not brown skin, Jackie's light skin. Jennifer didn't experience that because Jennifer came in there knowing one of the bigger bullies, which is Evelyn. Like she came in best friends with her. Like so at the time, and I say that
Malaysia too. Malaysia says she hasn't really experienced it.
Malaysia didn't experience it. I don't think so. I don't think Malaysia ever experienced anything like that. But Malaysia wasn't the darker skinned person at the time. She wasn't the darkest person on the show at the time. So she wasn't getting that. And that's what I'm saying. It's not about just because you're brown or dark, you're going to get that. It's the one that's in there that's like, you are a black girl. You're the one that's going to get it. And so, yeah, of course she's going to say that she never got it. I mean, yeah. She didn't have to deal with the bullshit that they had to deal with because they gave it to somebody else.
Okay.
But even when Jennifer came back now, she became the villain because she was the one. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was OG and her.
That's true.
Yeah.
That is true. And then those two few. Like
yeah, and then those two few. And it's like, okay, let's make them the angry black people. And I was like, damn, that's some crazy shit. Because that's when they were trying to get them to come back. And that's when Tammy and Shoni was like, oh, they're trying to bring us back for LA. This is before Jennifer even came back. It was the season before. And I was like, nah, I'm going to see what they do with y'all because they lied to me already one time. And I got to see if they keep it real. And it's so crazy because when they went on, I was like, oh, okay, it's not that bad. Okay, they might have been. So I almost went back and then something happened. I think, I don't know why I didn't go back the next time. But something happened, because I was deep into the divorce shit. So it was like, I can't just keep going away because you have to travel there. I was 5 days there, 2 days here. And I was like, I can't just do that being in court all the time. But it was so crazy. I was like, oh, God, court saved me.
Right.
Because they had them, they throwing chairs and shit.
Right.
What's up, Trent?
So I think Malaysia's scared because that season they did make Malaysia and Brandy the black girls of that season. Because they bullied her. And then that's when Shani was like, thank you for your services. And Brandy never came back.
Yeah,
Brandy never came back. They did murder Brandy real bold.
Yeah, I mean, well, Brandy, that was kind of crazy, but I don't think they did Brandy dirty because I feel like Brandy, you know already. You already know what time it is. Shawnee, that's not even the one that even picked. Like, we know what it is. Yeah. Shawnee's, she's gonna like, if you want, you can't beef with her. That's what it is. That's the reason why, like I said, it was a whole issue because I called them out. Like, Shawnee, you told me what then it became me against her. You get it? After, I'm talking about when the show was over. Because you called her out and she can't, oh, you're not going to blow me up. And I'm saying I'm glad it's a wrap with that drama because me and her are past that now. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, the divorce brought us closer together. Well, not close, but you know what I'm saying? Brought everything back and all the drama was dead because it was like, bitch, I already been through that and I know what it's like. And I'm so sorry you got to go through the drama. You know what I'm saying? If you need anything. And that was... And I let everything go, and I appreciate that. And so we follow each other after that, and it was going, you know, it's all good. Okay. But yeah. But I definitely see. I've always thought colorism is a thing on reality TV in general. I mean, even down to the shows that are white, majority white. Like they have the one black girl, and then maybe one mixy black girl, and then the black girl is the one that's rowdy and wild out and loud and obnoxious.
Can't get a man.
I mean, if you think about looking like Flavor of Love, like New York was the wild out, but there was other black girls that were like mixier looking and this and they were like, she's got to be the wild out. You know, it's messed up.
But that helped her though.
I mean, it helped her, yeah.
She did get spin-offs and keep coming back.
She did, but she had to be that person.
But yeah, she did, and she took the black girl.
Yeah.
Basically. That's crazy.
And yeah, you don't always want to have to be that person.
Right.
Oh, does she?
Why do they feel like there has to be, like, that one black person who has to be?
I don't know why they feel like that, honestly.
They know it's sell. They know it's sell because we're going to watch it and be like, we're going to feel triggered.
Well, yeah, entertainment, like you said, but why?
Because even, like, in black shows, like in 101, they had Kyla Pratt's best friend. She was the one who can't get a man, the one who was always lingering around.
Look at, what's the show with the Parkers? Like, you know, Yeah. And then on also Girlfriends, Maya, why she had to be the one who had to go through all that drama. You know what I'm saying? It was always the darker one. I don't know why they do that. I mean, and true, even the darker one, because not even Maya. What's the other one? Tony. She had to be that aggressive and, you know what I'm saying, she was like successful, yes, but she was like, always loud and rolling her head, rolling her eyes, talking crazy. Whereas, you know, Lynn and the main star, Joan, was just like proper and, you know.
They had college degrees, both of them. Right. Tony came from the ghetto and then she, you know what I'm saying? Like she came from. I don't know. I mean, it's so much, it's so deep.
It really is deep.
It is now that y'all sit here.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about it. It's deep. We need to unpack that another day.
But then we watch it, and it's kind of like a program. You're just watching those shows of how you think like certain.
Well, do you know? So I mean, we all probably know this though, but just yesterday actually, I was online and they were saying how, you know, we know that most of the writers, obviously up until now, more recently, have been white.
Yeah.
So can you imagine that all this stuff that we're seeing being written for us and for us to portray and to us to act like, remember about white people, this is how they perceive us and how they want us to act.
Fact.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's the only black people you don't know. And it's extra, but it worked for Blackish though, because that's my show.
That's my show.
That show is funny, and I just it makes me remind me of like my family. Like, it's a good show. It's a good show, but that's the only show I feel like that kind of works for. But I'm hoping to God that they have some black writers on that. I think so. I think Kenya Barris is like the creator, right? Yeah. So I would hope so.
But wait, could we didn't talk about this one thing? I can't remember the guy's name. The basketball player?
Darius?
Yeah, Darius.
Darius something.
But they showed like the audio.
Bruh, so I think it was Darius.
What happened?
They like fighting videos.
What happened?
The video. You can't really see them in the video.
I think he's like in the D League now, right? Or he was in the D League, but he had gotten drafted to the Lakers, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was not just beating, he beat that girl. Like, he beat the shit out of his girl. Or the girl he was...
About the phone, about going, he trying to go through her phone, she went through his phone.
But the thing about it is, the video, did you see the video?
Yeah, I couldn't really see them.
I can see when he was dragging her. One point he was standing over. That's all I need.
Yeah, and then he moved.
I don't need to see nothing else because that's just aggressive. Like, there were so many comments about people saying, "Oh, he need to go to jail," and I hope they fuck him up like that in jail. And I was like, right on, because the people that do shit like that, you need to feel the shit that you.
That's crazy how he was hard down fighting her like that.
He beat her. He broke 2 of her teeth. She said he kicked her in the mouth, so he broke 2 of her teeth, and she had to go to the dentist and fix her teeth and things like that. And I was just like, what makes you think that that's okay?
And he like the whole time I just hear, give me your phone.
Yeah, give me your phone. Let me go through your shit. You want to go through mine?
Wait, this was over a phone.
Yeah.
It's over a phone. But this is the kicker. So I was telling me and my kids, because I talk to my kids, I'm real open again. Like I said, we talk to my kids or whatever. And I said that's one of my biggest fears. I have 2 daughters. One is going to be 18 and going to college, and one is 12 going on 13. And I'm like, that's one of my biggest fears. So I said it in front of my mom. I was like, did you hear about this? So, if you don't know, my ex-husband used to be in the NBA, and so I've never gone through that, thank God, but I knew a lot of people that did, and we used to talk about it all the time, like, yo, that's crazy that he could do that, or he does that to her, and we just never had that issue, that's not something I've ever dealt with or whatever, and it just really bothers me, because I feel like right now, every day I'm on the internet, from Blueface to this one, to that rapper, to NBA Youngboy, whoever it is, you know what I'm saying? Beating up their girl or punching their girl, or what's the fighter that yoked up the girl? Yeah, Javante, while we were at Mac's celebrity basketball game, yoked up the bitch after I left. I was like, damn. Like, I see it on the news the next day, and I'm like, this is a big thing for me, because I don't know what is getting lost in the raising of these boys. I don't have the boys, because I definitely wouldn't be raising boys like that. Like, I'm raising you to know better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Van said last week, you don't touch no woman. Like, that's not, I don't care what they do. Like, that's not even the move. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's a culture right now where it's okay in their head. Not saying it's okay in the world, but for them, I can do that. And they're always doing that. It's always, so that's my fear, is that, and so my mom was like, so my mom's thing is like, oh, that girl, that definitely wasn't the first time. The way he was beating her, he was comfortable to, which is true. She said it he did it very often, and she stayed because she wanted to change him or whatever she said, right? She hoped he'd change.
That's the thing, is people are always quick to say they want to change somebody, when I feel like
she hoped
you really
he would
need
change.
to heal. But you got to heal these people first. These people have these.
They need to heal themselves. I can't heal you.
She can heal, but that's what I'm saying. She can help him get some, therapy, something. He needs to heal first before any change can
Anything can happen. And my mom is saying stuff like that, and I said, well, Ma, that don't matter. Yes, he clearly was very comfortable and whatever. But what I'm saying, she's like, well, you shouldn't be scared for the girls because they stupid if they stay. And I said, that's not my point. My point is, I'm scared for it to even happen. You can't, even if they leave after that, I don't want my girls to ever experience a young man or a boy, because you ain't even a young man, you doing that, a man putting their hands on them. Like, I never want them to experience that. I've never, thank God, had to deal with that, but I don't want any woman to experience that, but I know I have a lot of friends that have. And I try to talk to them and be like, why are you staying? It's been a few people, and I've never understood the staying part, but I think because I've never had to deal with it personally, I can't understand what the mindset is and why they're staying. People have different reasons, so I'm not knocking them for that. I just wish that they wouldn't say, whatever. But my kids, like I said, that's my biggest fear. Like, I just don't want them to even have to endure a fist to their face, a dude kicking a tooth they face in. That even at one time, I don't ever want them to have to deal with that. And that bugs me out, because even these young boys, they are in this culture, and they just, I just be
wondering with their family things too, when they see stuff like that too.
You didn't see what the girl posted, the mom said? So we just said what the whole fight was about. The mom said.
The mom of Darius?
No, the mom of Darius said. So, well, why you ain't just let him see your phone?
Huh?
That's what that woman said.
I know you lying.
I swear to God, that's what the girl wrote on her thing. She wrote a whole passage about after the video surfaced, and she was just saying why she stayed, and it happened several times, and she stayed because of whatever the case may be. But then she brought up, you know, and you know the family, how they never wanted them with them, they wanted her to have a kid with him, I think, or something like that. Some crazy shit. Oh no, it wasn't about the kid, but she don't have a kid with him. But she was bringing up all this other stuff. I'm getting her and Malik mixed up. But she said to think that you would say to me when you saw this video, instead of chastising your son and saying, "Oh my God," that you said, "Well, girl, why you ain't just give him your phone?" That's crazy. Right. So that's when that's why we even brought my mother into the conversation, because you know, I have an older brother, and of course boys in their mother's eyes can do no wrong no matter what. So we always joke and say my brother's the family favorite or whatever, and well, not the family, but my mom's favorite. And so my daughters are like, "Oh, grandma probably would do that," whatever. And I said, "Hell no, she wouldn't," because we grown up with that, like not with him having to him beating on nobody. But I've grown up with him having to deal with a lot of girls, and he's had like a lot of issues with cops having me called and things like that. Not because he put his hands on them, because they want to fight, and then he restrained them, and then he called the cops like, "Yo, I'm not even gonna hit you because I ain't trying to go to jail, right?" So my mother would be like, "Thank God, because I don't need that." And I'm like, "No, she's not down with that or whatever." So it was crazy that the mother actually said, "Well, why you ain't just giving me your phone?" Like, that is not the response. It would be like, boy, what is wrong with you? I didn't raise you like that.
Right.
Well, he probably witnessed that going on in his house. So she probably.
Well, maybe that's where it came from. You're right.
Because if that was her first response, then she probably would have.
Probably would have gave the phone. That's what
she probably would be like, here, please. You know.
But honestly, even if you did that, that probably wouldn't stop it.
Nah, because apparently someone's in that damn phone. She wouldn't give it up.
Hello.
You think so?
She would have gave his phone up.
Not even though, like, it's like, why you hitting me just to hit me?
If she felt like, after you're getting hit, if you felt like you stole on the phone, if you felt like nothing was in your phone, you would have been gave that phone up.
But he beating the shit out of you anyway, so like, why you ain't giving the phone at this point?
That's gonna stop the beating. So
okay,
but now you gonna beat the shit out of me even more when you find some shit in my phone. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it was something in there. Because if it wasn't, you would have been confident about that shit. You would have gave that shit up.
But that's no reason still. Just because you didn't give it up, that's still no reason.
No, it ain't no reason at all. But I felt like it was something in there though.
And I can see that there's obviously maybe was something. Now that you put it like that, it probably was something that she was like. But that's not
even that first hit, she would have passed that phone over.
Before you even got to the phone.
Yeah, like you would have passed that shit over, like, and you would have been like, "See, ain't nothing in there." Like, then you would have had like, you know, a case. But nah, and then the fact that it made him feel like it was something in there even more. The fact that I'm kicking your ass, you still ain't giving me this phone.
So and so this is like a crazy thing. Like when I was growing up, I used to always think that people that were, or girls that were getting like hit and things like that, I'm like, yo, they ain't got no brothers, or they ain't got no niggas around them that like really.
Sometimes they just be like.
But and I realized that as I got older, so that's why I'm saying that, because I mean I have cousins like, you know, the boys in my family, you know, been in and out of jail.
They don't tell either.
Like,
sometimes the girls won't tell.
And that I can see that too.
Because you clearly said she said it's happened a few times already. It's just now it probably just gotten worse and worse.
Well, somebody else put the pictures out too. It wasn't even her. Somebody put the pictures out. It was like, "I'm sorry."
A friend who just tired of seeing it happen.
But I used to have like, even my cousins used to just come home like and be like, they would just come home from jail and be like, "Yo, that nigga good? Like, I need to fuck that nigga up or something." I'm like, "No, he's alright." Like, I just feel like I used to think that because I always grew up with them making sure like I'm good and, you know, always threatening him and just in general.
Who won't tell certain things because they don't want friends or families to now not like them. Not to know, but then they will always have something to say. So they just keep it to themselves and they'll be doing this shit by themselves.
Well, you shouldn't want to like that boy if he's doing that to you, but they don't get it. And then I was going to say that as I got older, I realized like not a lot, but the people that I've known, I think out of the people that I've known that have unfortunately been through shit like that, they all have brothers. And I'm like, are you not telling them, or are they whatever? So I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that they had brothers, that they didn't have brothers.
No, they didn't tell them.
Which is how I grew up. It's either they're not telling them, or their brother's not even about that kind of like bullshit.
I just feel like a lot of them aren't telling them. They're not telling a lot of people.
I feel like I do know one person that has 3 or 4 brothers, and they told them, but they're not even about that kind of like life to do all of that and stuff like that. Yeah. It's like,
so I had an auntie who used to fight with her boyfriend. We seen it, so we would jump on him a couple of times. But after they keep going back together, you're not gonna want to keep fighting because it's not gonna change nothing.
I've heard that too.
Together,
okay, so I've heard that too, and I think that's what happened with with one of the people that I know. That the family be like, oh, you're gonna keep going, so why? And I'm like, what? But you're supposed to want them to not be with them. That's what it's supposed to be.
Well, I think it's to that point where you would think they wouldn't, but
yeah,
it's something. But I mean, for them, some people think that being physical thing means they really love them. Well, I don't know where that comes from either.
So, but what? How do I say it? For me, I feel like. Yeah, I've heard that a lot of people feel like that's love and things like that or whatever.
They recognize that as love for some reason, but I don't understand.
But my question is, for those that don't think it's the love thing, for those that just, endure it and think that you said that they'll change or they'll stop, like, when is it, like...
I feel like, what are you doing to help create change? Like...
That's what I was going to ask, like, that's my point, like, when is it going to really stop? I feel like this
situation get worse and worse too.
Some people who stay in situations like that, they feel like it's their fault. They feel like
they
internalize
themselves. Yeah.
They internalize it, and they feel like the reason that this is happening is because it's what's meant to happen to them. So they you know what I'm saying? They just take it,
and that sucks. I think
that's some people do.
Just that one moment that happened.
Yeah, so like they have more good moments besides this down one we have right now. So it's like I guess. I don't know.
That sucks to
kick somebody that you see in the damn mouth though, that's crazy.
But I don't even want women fighting. I mean, I'm aggressive, but I wouldn't even want to like really fight. Like I'm like push you baby or whatever, but I don't want we're not gonna. We shouldn't be with nobody that even wants to fight you.
And there's also people who have never really witnessed what real love is. Like you know what I'm saying? Like in their household. So maybe all they saw was their mom and dad fighting. So that's all they know. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they felt like that's what love is, and that's what's gonna happen to them because that's what happened to their mama and daddy. So
that's true, and that's sad though. I mean, we gotta change the narrative, guys. We definitely do.
But how do you change that?
You gotta work on yourself.
Yeah, I feel like self-love becomes a big thing too.
Self-awareness too. You have to know what you want and what you don't want and what you'll settle for and you know what I'm saying? Like
yes and no, because again, because I say all the time I'm worried about my daughters. It's not about them. Yes, I'm so confident that I'm raising daughters that know you can always come home. Don't ever let one of these dusty ass niggas, and I say it straight like that, make you feel like you can't ever go nowhere. I don't care if I'm ever in a studio apartment. I'm taking the fucking floor and you got the couch. I don't ever want you to feel like you can't ever come home. That's an emotional thing. I don't want them to ever feel like they don't have no options. They can't go nowhere.
But you know what too? Sometimes they be embarrassed too.
That's what I'm saying. I said, don't ever be embarrassed. And I told them that too. I said, don't ever be embarrassed. Don't ever be embarrassed. Because it ain't your fault that somebody dusty ass son. That's why
But they don't want to disappoint you too. So
you ain't disappointing me.
But they might feel like
that's not your fault.
Yeah.
But I do think that may be hard to bring back to a parent.
Nah, it ain't hard. And I tell them all the time, it ain't your fault. They did that. You come here. I don't ever want. And that's one thing I just say all the time.
The relationship is deep and they
I don't give a
to
shit.
family events. They might be embarrassed to kind of have to.
And that's fine. That's fine. And guess what? There's one niggas bus stops. What they say buses. We ain't gotta worry about that. I just want to keep, and I'm gonna keep reiterating. And I'm glad y'all said that again. I'm gonna keep reiterating the embarrassment part. You don't never feel embarrassed because I'm not embarrassed for you. I'm not ashamed of you or anything like that. If anything, they should be embarrassed for being a douchebag or a dirt,
people.
Whatever. Terrible people, exactly. So for being that kind of person. But I'm confident that I'm raising girls that remember this and will always know this. God willing, they remember this and, hopefully they never have to go through it. But if, God forbid, anything like that ever happens, I want them to know that, hey, boom, I'm out or what have you, right? But I feel like there's still, it it's not even about my side. It's like I'm doing that on my end with the girls, but what about the people who are raising the boys that are doing this? That's my thing. Sometimes you can't stop it because there's these guys out here that think that. I was out the other day. This is what I wanted to talk about. I was out. Remember when I told you that there were so many people at that spot because the other one got closed down at the little bar? Okay, so what happened, why they even got on the mic was never any issues and packed house. And all of a sudden out of the blue, a guy, not as tall, not 6'8", but maybe about 6'4", 6'3", whatever, big and brolic, out of the blue. He's standing in a woman's face. He's like, I said, walk, bitch.
Huh?
And then she's trying to act like, you know how when somebody's acting embarrassed? I'm sorry, not acting embarrassed. Somebody is embarrassed, so they're acting like they don't really hear you. Like, it's a jokey joke. Yo, this nigga went, I swear to God, I cannot make this shit up. In front of me, in front of everybody there, there's a plenty men, yokes her up like this, choked her and said, I said, whoop, bitch! And then shoved her towards the direction of the door. Everybody seen it. Nobody does anything.
Damn.
Including myself. Nobody does anything. But I'm a woman, what I'm gonna do to this big ass man.
Right.
Now my thing is also, is it a fear that this nigga has a gun? He don't know what, because he was crazy. But I just kept saying, yo, all those men in the spot. So I was telling my kids about it the next day. Because we were talking about Asian Americans being abused and stuff like that. And nobody doing, and people that are watching and getting fired from their jobs because they're not even trying to help them or stuff like that. And I said, you know, you can't blame certain people because you don't know what their mindset is. They could be an older person, this is their second job, and they're like, I can't fight them, I don't want to, whatever. And I said, because I was out last, they knew I was out.
Some people don't want to inherit somebody else's beef.
Exactly.
It turns bad for them. So
and that was what I'm saying. They could be dead the next minute because you don't know what that person's carrying. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, and so that's what the conversation turned to on the way to school because we're listening to that. And I was like, how do you blame somebody? But I was like, you know, I had that experience last night when I was out. And I was telling them, I said, there was a man that, you know, he choked up this woman. And all I kept thinking was, there's all these grown men in here. Nobody does anything. Is that okay?
Well, security is something should at least kind of like...
Security was outside. There was no security on the inside. Security was on the outside. And so finally the lady said something because he shoved her to the door and like he was gone. But, oh no, he came back and partied though.
Oh, he just put her out.
She had to go.
Nobody was like...
And everybody was just still chilling, partying.
No, everybody was like...
Partying with him. While he came back.
I don't know. When he came back, I don't know who he went to because he came in. We saw him walking, and he went to his wherever he went. But it was just so odd for me because I was like, nobody did. Like I thought there were gonna be men that run to her rescue, so that's why I'm bringing it up. It's like what we're saying, like you know, we have these guys that are raised whatever kind of way. Mm-hmm. They think they could do certain things because that was completely unacceptable. What she did there. I mean, he didn't punch her in the face, but that still was wrong. Yeah. When and I'm gonna say choke. I say choke and push, and he was strong. It was a strong motion, and I was like, oh my God, and I was just like, all these men in here, nobody's doing it. But again, we can't fault them, or can we? Because do we know? You don't know who that man is, and you don't know if he got somebody backing him up in the distance. You don't know if he got a shooter or somebody in this corner. So that's what we were saying. Too many other factors. It's too many niggas in there. Everybody looking like, what the hell going on? But nobody about to jump in because as soon as you touch them, it could be somebody behind you ready to slump your ass. And so we let the women get... But I feel like even if you don't have to necessarily touch them, but you can intervene a little bit and try to like bring it down a little bit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like when you step in, you don't have to step in an aggressive manner, but you can kind of like... Hey guys. Take it easy. Got the time of the place. Yeah. Exactly. Both of y'all are right. Just trying to party. Rick?
Now, I've seen people have altercations and then somebody step in and the female tell them to mind their business.
I've seen stuff like that too. Really? Like you think you're saving somebody and they're not. They don't want to. They want to keep it between them two, so they're telling you basically those who've been turned on your ass. And, so they fight you. Yeah, so you do it. You will have situations like because you don't know the depth of what's really going on. So yeah, it's really a gamble stepping in and throwing something sometimes. Yeah. You can get that.
That's crazy. I mean, well, I can see that, and that's what I was saying to my kids. I said, I guess everybody was scared because just like they were saying in the situation on the radio about the security guards that kind of like are not stepping in, you know, for the Asian, it's like it's the guy that they didn't step in, the situation that they did not step in for, and they ended up getting fired. In that case, that guy had just been released from prison from like 12 years for killing his mother.
Whoa!
No, the guy that was beating up the Asian woman.
okay.
So they were like, but they didn't know that. So we like, yeah, but you don't. The point is, you don't know what that person is capable of, and who you about to try to fight. And the person killed the mother with the bare hands, so it wasn't like they shot her or something.
His own mother.
His own mother. He crazy.
That's sickening.
Yeah, so that was my thing. I was like, I guess I understand because like this guy said, you don't really know. Cause I felt like somebody doing that in the club, you was packing. Like you crazy.
You had to have some. Somebody had to be back. You might have. He probably owned the club. You don't know.
He ain't own it because we know the owner of that. It's not a club. It's like a bar. And, yeah, well, that was time anyway. So that was the sign. Yeah, that was the sign because it's actually the end of that one. Anyway.
So
that was the end of the topic. Anyway.
Okay, so we're
That was a nice sign, huh?
So we finished?
Yeah, we are. But
okay. I didn't know that.
It's an early night for us. We want to try to keep it on our hour because Vontae be falling asleep on us. We love you, Vontae. Save your energy for next week when DJ L Blaze is back from his long ass honeymoon. I'm just a hater. Yeah, I'm a hater. But no, thanks y'all for coming out. We're gonna end it.
Thank y'all very much.
We're gonna end it. It's been over an hour still, but you know, we just want to thank y'all for coming out. Appreciate y'all. Give yourself a hand. Y'all will weep, but okay. Love y'all.